Hey everybody, welcome back to another tutorial on Dragonframe. Today we're going to be going over the usage of two motion control systems at the same time using Dragonframe. Now why would you want to do that? Well, in this case I'm going to be getting ready to do some product shoots for some small packaging, and I want to be able to move and manipulate the subject. So what I have over here is a Cineshooter, and this is set up to be a product mover. So it's on a rail, so it's going to be able to move back and forth. It's got pan tilt, and it's got a second shooter rotary table on the top too. Going out to this blue pin, that's where I'm going to mount the subject. And I just want to be able to move the subject around and in more ways than I'm going to be able to accomplish if I'm just moving the camera. So just a heads up, you do not have to stick with just one brand. I could have used my Moco ST4 here and done the same thing, except for I didn't have a good rotary table with the ST4 to put on the pan tilt. That's why I'm using this. You can mix and match gear. It's really not a problem as long as everything connects into Dragonframe. And yes, you can use this stuff together, but I think if you're going to be running really high speeds, you might run into problems if things don't get exactly where it's supposed to be, because this Kessler systems here do not talk to each other. They only talk to Dragonframe. But so far, I use this type of a setup quite often. In fact, in my robot Sarah, I use a Second Shooter Pro controller, I use a Cineshooter Plus, and then I've also got my own Dragonframe driver box that's ready for real-time movements as well. And they all play together just fine. So the first thing you're going to want to do is just make sure you have all your hardware set up, everything's plugged in, and everything's ready to go. And you're going to go into Scene and go to Connections, and then you're going to add a connection. So in this case, since it's a Kessler device, I'm going to use Kessler Moco. But you have all kinds of different options depending on what it's going to be. So choose the appropriate one. I'm also going to want to make sure I pay attention that this is on Art Moco 2. And the location I know is COM5. This one says DDMX. That's my DMX controller, and the DJI is the this other camera I'm using here. So COM5, connect. And now we have connection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you kind of a way to kind of help with your workflow on this. But the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and set up all the connections for the other robot. So I'm going to go ahead and go here to add a connection. And if you have not seen all of this stuff yet, if this is all new to you, then you should go check out my Intro to Motion Control first, because that's going to be an excellent primer so you know everything you're looking at and why you're doing it. So we're going to go back into this one. I'm going to rename this to Model Mover Pan. I'm going to change this to Art Moco 2, Channel 1. I know that my speeds work best at 40,000. At least that's how I feel it is. It's just a personal preference. And we're not going to be doing anything with calibration, indexing, or anything like that on this. We're just going to be setting up these axes, and we're just going to go ahead and use them. So I'm going to hit OK. Now we're going to go add another axis, tilt. Same thing. We're going to go Art Axis Moco 2, Channel 2, 40K, 40K, and save. Actually, and this is a pan tilt, so we're going to go choose this. And then the pan, we're going to change this one over to that. And we're going to add another axis. This is going to be rotate. I have that on channel 4. Channel 4, Art Moco 2, channel 4. And then same thing, I'm going to do 40,000, 40,000, ignore the rest, except for change this to that. Okay, and that's the rotate. That's the this rotational element. And now we're going to go ahead and do slide for the slider, and that's on channel 5. And we're going to do the same thing, 40,000, 40,000. And then I'm going to leave these because this seems to look correct with how I'm looking at it. And it says focus channel 6 is out of range. Which one was this on? It got bumped. So let's see. You got to be careful when you're doing this, because if you end up choosing the wrong channel, so if I take Art Moco 1 and I put this on channel 5, if there's something on here that's on 5, it'll bump it off of 5 to the next available channel. So you kind of got to pay attention. So this one is 4, so I think focus will be 5. Let's try it. Yep, focus is 5. Okay, so now I got my slide, rotate, tilt, and pan. But this is a lot to look at. So I'm going to show you a nice little trick that Dragonframe can do. We're going to go in here, and we are going to do Add Axis Group. And then I'm going to double click on this, and I'm going to change this to Camera, And then I am going to take all the axes that are associated with the camera and put them in there. In fact, this one I'm going to delete. We built this earlier, but we don't need this because I'm not using that at all. So we're going to go ahead and take pan, and we're just going to nest them right up in here with camera. And now I'm going to add another group. And I'm going to go ahead and put the model mover stuff in there. So let's see, get in there, tuck in nicely. Yeah. Okay, so now we have two groups, and I'm going to name this model. So we got model and camera. We can expand them out and open them. We can look at just one or the other, however we want to do it. I'm just going to leave them all open for right now. But there's something that's also here that you might find interesting, is we now have a return to playhead that will cover all of these at once. So normally, if we're going to be setting up for a move, so say we're going to get ready to go to frame 1, and some of these are not in the right position, right? Let's just go ahead and give these things different keyframes real quick. Oh, here we go. That's all in there. Okay. And I just want to mess up the keyframes so things are no longer on the right spot. Let's see. Oh yeah, it's because we don't have any keyframes. Let me add one. Now, if we go over and we move things, you'll see that they're no longer showing up on being on that keyframe. See, now these are no longer in the right position, right? So, because we're on frame 45, and that's the right position for frame, what is it, 124. So we're going to move away. So in the past, if you want to move everything to this position, you have two ways to do it. You can go hit this one, this one, and this one, and send them all to that location. Or you can hit this, in which case it'll once again give you the option to do 1, 2, and 3. But that's a pain because we got a lot of stuff here. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this over here, and if I want to move over to that position, all I have to do is click on this position. It sends the axis to the playhead. I'm not exactly sure if this thing has a name or not, but this badge, you just hit that, and all three axes will do. All the axes will move themselves to the correct location. So we're just going to do this and move things around a little bit just to get things off of their correct location for the axis. And once again, if I want to restore, if I want to move over to position 85 and I want to put all these at 85, all I have to do is hit that one and they will all go over. Now you can also do this without having multiple robots built in. You just put everything under one group, and then anytime you want to position all of them, you just hit that one tab. So I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to set up a basic move. So I am going to delete all of this. And what we're going to do is we are going to first move the model. So I want to move the tilt. We're going to stand this up. And I'm going to slide this back a little bit. MM slide. Why was that on 6? That should be 5. Oh, wait. It should be on Art Moco 2, number 5. All right, let's make sure everything's in the right location real quick. Okay, so that's the rotate, tilt, pan, that's all good. Camera, pan, slide, tilt, focus. Okay, everything's in the right spots. You just got to pay attention. If when you're setting it up, it's easy to kind of accidentally grab the wrong thing, and then you might move some things around. So just make sure everything is where you need it to be. So we're going to go back to the first position, and I am going to put the tilt up. I'm going to rotate the pan. And I'm going to slide this down a little bit. Oops, those are backwards. And you'll see how noisy that is. That's because this is the time-lapse slider, and it's not really meant for real-time moves, I don't think. It does. I mean, it'll work in a pinch for work like this, but we need to swap those directions. Let me make sure that feels right. Okay. So since I'm not going to be recording audio, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, that system's a little bit noisy. So we got the model in the right place. Now I'm going to move the camera. We're going to pan over. I'm going to slide down the track a bit. Pan back over, and let's get that in the middle of our frame. Tilt. And let me get rid of this. Not now. Okay. And then focus. Okay, other way. Let me get that. Well, let me just... I had the upper and lower limit set on there on focus, so it didn't want to go where I wanted. Here we go. Okay, I feel that's good. So here we are. We have everything in position for our first position. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and hit this button here. It's going to lock all the keyframes in. Now we're going to go out, and we're going to go out to 15 seconds, and we're just going to move things a little bit. We're going to slide the camera back over this way, and we're going to pan it a little bit, and then we are going to slide this, tilt this forward, and we're going to pan that in towards the center. Then camera, we're going to go ahead and tilt down and see if we can find that. Find our subject. There it is. And we are going to set that focus again, make sure it's good. There we go. I think that looks about right. And now we're going to set this. So now, as you can see, we got a lot of different frames here. In fact, let's go ahead and do a middle one. Let's go ahead and we're going to position both of these right in the middle of this shoot. And we're going to add a little extra something else in there. So why don't we tilt this up, tilt that back, pan, and put it in there. I just want to make this look like a bit of a mess. I'm not really trying to achieve anything at this point. I'm going to send that focus out a little bit, and we're going to put a new keyframe in. So now you can see we got all of these different keyframes. It's getting to look a little bit hairy. If I just want to look at the model, I hit this, and now all I'm seeing is the model lit. If I only want to see camera, then here I am, only cameras lit. If I want to see, if I have them, if I want to just get rid of camera there or get rid of model, you know, you have that. So that's a way to kind of keep things organized. Also, you can always change the color on these little tiles. Let me get focus back in there. Okay. Pan, tilt, slide, focus. That's just how I like it. All right. So if I don't want to see all those, you know, you can hide them. And it's just an easy way to do it. So what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and let's see how this move looks. I'm going to hit upload move. And we are going to hit play. We're going to return to the pre-roll position. And now we're just going to go ahead and run the move. As you can see, super exciting. This is definitely going to get me some kind of an award somewhere. All right. Let that get the end. Okay. We're just going to end this here this time. Okay, say that when watching that, I didn't like where everything was. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to kind of roll backwards a little bit. And you see that tip is way out of center. And what I want to do is I want to land on that tip. So we're pretty close to having everything in the right spot. Let's just go ahead and hit that and that. It was just a couple numbers that needed to be updated. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tilt the camera up and pan it over this way. And we're going to add another keyframe in right here. Okay, now you can see I clicked on this. It keyframed everything in camera, but not anything in model. So you can have them separated out that way. Now that we are there, let's go ahead and upload move. And then we're going to go ahead and track back a little bit more. What I want to do is I just don't want that tip getting too far out of the way. So I kind of like this. It's just kind of swaying around. Let's go ahead and run this. Moving to pre-roll, click run. And here we go, and you'll see that the path had been edited. Okay, very nice. I'm pretty pleased with how that looks. Like I said, not really going for any kind of an award here, But another couple things to know, if I want to run this and all I want to do is run the camera, I don't want to run the model, I can always shut the model off, upload move, and then run it. And now the model mover is not moving, only the camera is moving. So there's a lot of options and things you can do to kind of verify that your stuff's in the right spot and things are looking the way that you want. Very exciting. Anyway, that in a nutshell is how you can run multiple motion control systems. So if you want to use one for a model mover, super easy to do, and everything syncs up pretty much perfectly. In fact, I've never really run into any problems using more than one system. So let's go ahead and I guess that's going to be it for this one. I'm going to start working on the next tutorial. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope this is useful. Do the like and subscribe if you find these valuable. And please share these tutorials to anybody that you think could use them. Thank you.